Hello and welcome to this video in the security section of Power Platform Admin, all around Dataverse security. Dataverse, common data service, interchangeable at the moment. So you'll see it in different slides as common data service. It was rebadged about a year ago at the time of recording of this video. So it's still filtering through. It was named everywhere. So Dataverse, common data service is the same thing. And we're going to look at its security now. So of course we've looked at the different cascading securities that comes down. We're now at the data layer, and there are particular roles that roles define what level of access for create, read, update and delete CRUD operations are defined. There are also So roles define how people can access different types of records. They can contain a set of privileges. Users can be assigned to multiple security roles, and security role privileges are cumulative. So they're additive on top of. So that's an important concept there. Privileges, there are record level privileges. So the level of access, what you can do to a particular record. And then there are action task-based privileges. So what you can do with particular non-entity related permissions. So can you publish articles or do things? It's what you can do, privileges. And there are different levels of accesses, global, deep, local and basic, and we'll cover those in a second. Can get quite complex pretty quickly. So there's a really good resource from the PowerCat team. PowerCat is Microsoft Power Platform customer advisory team, I believe. And if you Google them, PowerCat, Power Platform PowerCat, they did a video on data security in Dataverse. Highly recommend watching that. Also, the usual disclaimer applies in that do your own research and make sure you're doing things that are right for your organization. Do your own research in this. But this gives you an overview. I'm not going to go read through each of these, but you can see there you've got the entity. This is what you can do with a particular entity. The privilege that you can grant for that entity, and you grant these to a role. And then you have the access level. Global, all records in the organization. Organization is a particular type of grouping. Typically you wouldn't change the default organization. You wouldn't touch it. You wouldn't add more organizations unless you've been specifically advised to, because you're a huge organization. Typically you would have the one organization, otherwise you get yourself into quite a bit of a mess. So global gives access to all records organization regardless of the business unit hierarchical level that the environment or the user belongs to. So there's a bit under the organization you have business units, and then underneath the business units you have environments and things like that. So you've got global that can see everything. You've then got deep. Deep gives users access to records in the user's business unit only, and all business units subordinate to the user's business unit. The application refers to this access of as parent-child business units. In general, we tend to recommend deep or local access. But most size of organizations that we work with, global is totally fine as well, because they don't have many business units or any business units inside there as well. But you do need some thought around this. So do reach out if you want us to give you some advice and help on this. So they're the roles in terms of what people can do with an entity and what people can see. Then within the tables themselves, there are field level security as well. You can control access to sensitive data in columns and in rows. So it can be used in client applications. We'll honor this. Web service calls will honor this in terms of the user context, and in reporting via filtered views, it will be honored as well. Enforced by a security profile either for individual users or for teams, and there's permission scope, and there's exceptions as well. These things do not support field level security, so identifiers, security principal fields like created by, modified by, owning team, they don't support field level security. Timestamps don't, and codes, they don't support them either. But other things like numbers, text fields, choices, all of that stuff, that will support field level security. Huge topic is Dataverse security. Highly recommend doing your own research on that and looking at the PowerCat team video. We'll make sure it's linked in the help bubble. Just search for Dataverse PowerCat, and there'll be a link there to that video. Highly recommend watching that if you've got more questions around that. Thank you for watching, and chat to you in the next video.